idea never left my head. It was like a sunrise. Sunrise starts, and you barely perceive when it starts. It's so quiet and silent, but it doesn't stop. It keeps getting brighter and brighter and brighter until the sun is there. As I grew up in a family that didn't practice any religion. Parents were divorced, lived with dad, lived with mom. Dad got remarried, divorced again. When I was 14 years old, my older sister had a born-again experience with a Christian church, and she invited me to come along to church one Sunday, and eventually I had a born-again experience and became a Christian. I went to Stanford University in California. My career goal in life, I was majoring in history, very involved in the dramatic arts. I wanted to write and produce movies about historical subjects. I met a professor, and he was Jewish by culture and post-atheist by faith. He told me, look, if you have to be religious, which you shouldn't, there's only two real religions in the world. There's Judaism and there's Roman Catholicism. And you're not Jewish. And I, from my evangelical Protestant background, I'm thinking the Catholics are pagans. So that threw me for a huge loop. And that was the first seed. In order to become a better historian, I took my semester overseas. I studied in Florence, Italy. And as soon as I got off the plane in Italy, I fell in love with it. And I couldn't get enough of the art. But it turns out that all of that art and all that architecture is Catholic. So I ended up studying the Catholic faith in order to understand the art better. And the more I studied, the more I learned, the more I became excited about all this that the church had to offer. So after 2 quarters in Florence, I was in love with the church. Then I went to Krakow, Poland. One Mass in particular I went to was at a very famous church in Nowa Huta, outside of Krakow. There were no pews in this church because there's no room for pews. So many people came to Mass. And they were all on their knees during the consecration. I was rapt with attention. It was so real, the presence of God. So I'm riding home to the dorm on the tram through Krakow after that Mass. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this voice goes off in my head. It says, John, you should be a priest. And I'm not even Catholic yet. I just kind of laughed it off. But from that moment on, the idea never left my head. So then I went back, I graduated from college, I started studying the Catholic faith more formally. I was confirmed, and I entered the church, and I wanted to join the seminary right away. I was so in love with the church. And the priest I was meeting with regularly said, you might be confusing your vocation to be Catholic with a vocation to be a priest. So I moved to Chicago, and I started acting professionally. And things started working out well. Got an agent, got some jobs, got some work, and my heart was not in it. I went back to the priest and I said, Father, I don't know if it's going to work out in the end, but I know I at least have to try the seminary. Please, let me join. And he said, okay, maybe that is where God is calling you, and we'll give it a shot.